on a normal registered sporting, I'd like to put at least 2 traps, possibly 3 at the 50-metre distance. For me, sporting clays, I've been shooting myself since I was 10 years old, I suppose, so 45 years. I'm a farmer, really, born and bred, but I got into the competitive world and then decided nearly 20 years ago to try and do it as a full-time business. And it, unbeknown to me and my ex-wife at the time, it took off, and we've just gone from strength to strength, really. My big passion is still sporting clays. We do ABT, trap shooting, compact shooting, fit-ass shooting. CPSA have just introduced the new registered discipline of super sporting, which is, do you have super sporting at home?
No, we should, no, we should some
Yeah, it's becoming really popular in the UK. So hopefully it's going to be in the World Sporting at Churchill's next year as an event. So that's getting really popular over here. But sporting clays, to me, going back to how we started and where we started, I still try, if I can, to replicate what the birds sort of do in the wild to some extent. I'm not really a fan of this little tricks and angles. I would rather replicate what a proper bird's flying like rather than try and catch people out with little slow, close angles and speed clays. Throughout England, the beauty of what we do competitive-wise is different grounds all see it differently. So I've got one style, another chap will have a different style, and that's what appeals to the UK competition CPSA market, really. On the ground itself, you'll see the stand you shot this morning. To me, visibility is a massive thing. Breaking clays is hard enough without struggling to see them. So to keep them clear, to show as much of the underside of the full clay as possible, or the coloured top side, is I spend quite a lot of time on getting the angles right to show that for you all to break. You know, we can all catch people out by putting an edge on target 60 yards away flying into oblivion. To me, it's pointless. So we try and make it entertaining. I try where I can. If you've noticed, you'll shoot the first bird on a report pair. The gun should kind of be in the same right direction to pick up the second bird to attack it and get the transition between the 2 shots. When we switch it up a gear for the major championships, I can catch people out more so by leaving their gun in totally the wrong position to transition to the second bird. Simo pairs, there's a Simo pair down there off a tower, the standard and the midi together. We had that in the last competition here, and I watched loads of people think, oh, we can get that 2 with 1 shot. And they'll try 2 with 1 shot, miss completely, and then just poke at another one and miss the pair, instead of just treating them individually. And then chances are the shot will run into 2 of them and break 2 at once. It's just little tricks that we use. Another one I like to use here, try and use the natural topography as much as we can. We are fairly flat ground here, but we've got the towers to get the height. We've got the ponds to add a little bit of interest. And shooting, if you're looking at trees, utilise the trees. They can throw great optical illusions for the shooter, particularly a colour target. If it's low down, through some trees, looks like it's going a hell of a lot faster than what it actually is. And if you play around with traps at home, if you stand behind the trap, and I learnt this down at my Westfield ground, I sort of set a target up when I first started, and I thought, well, that's a good one from behind the trap. I actually walked down the valley, looked at it going up a bank, a crossing target, and I thought, oh, the trap's come loose and it's dropped. Went back up there, no, Super Sporter trap was still tight as I set it, but the optical illusion of the bank made it look like the target was coming down, when in actual fact it was going up. So just I tend to use the natural topography the best we can, really.
It was the upper one first.
Yeah, it comes out here.
Pull.
Easy. If you, between your shot, if you drop your gun even lower,
Lower, yeah?
you'd have more vision of that second target.
Yeah. Pull. There's a one behind it. The first one.
Yeah, you didn't connect with it. You let the clay go and then you rushed to it. So just nice and smoothly to it.
Okay. I top concentrate.
That's it.
Easy.
And you see you drop down
Yeah.
and then went because you got the vision above.
Easy. Thank you.
Promatic traps, obviously you were up there yesterday. Did they show you all the different types of springs and everything we've got available?
Yeah, most of them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I love using the big double springs.
Yeah.
The one thing that holds me back a little bit on the double springs at the moment is the clay quality.
Yeah.
Because we're going down the eco clay route, we can't get the hardness. They'll just obliterate off the arm. So we can go from a little flopping spring from here to the door, or the big double spring that will throw a clay 120, 130 metres. So that's the one great thing about the Promatic machines. They got the versatility to do anything.
Yeah, I have a question. When you're thinking about or planning an event, how do you plan it? Say you have 15 stands, do you sit home in the couch and just drawing, or what do you do?
I used to. When we first started, when I was sort of getting used to the ground, I used to sit at home of an evening with a sketch pad and just think, oh, I can put a stand between those two trees. Excuse me. Put the arrows into what I think would work, and then used to come out and stand in that stand and position it all. Now, because I know the ground and the topography so well here and Westfield, I can just decide what stands we want to use and take the trap to that position and just do it, really. But that's just 20 years experience, doing it every week.
That's what we all have to get out of you.
Yeah.
But as a newbie, beginner, do you think that's a way to go? Sketch down all the stands and
Yeah.
really consider what you're doing?
Sporting clays, I think, is all about variety. And you don't want, you know, we can go to grounds where it's all big left to right, right to left crossing targets, or big teals. We don't want that. We want a nice balanced variety. So if a shooter has a bogey stand of something, say a pair of incoming crows, it doesn't matter because it's only one stand. You can go to another stand and then catch it up on some of the bigger crosses or little crosses or whatever. So it's all about variety. I tend, when we do the 100 bird sportings that we do every Sunday, I try to use at least one batu trap, one rabbit trap, one or two chandelle machines. So that's 4, and then the other 20 on the 12 stands are just normal, probably a couple of middies, and the others are just standards, whether they're low down coloured targets or black ones in the sky, really. But then as I'm going round, I'm thinking, oh, right, I've had 2 crosses there, I've got a teal here. I don't want another teal here because that'll be a bit too repetitive. So it's just keeping that variety, keeping the interest.
You set traps with a maximum length from the shooter to the traps?
I tend not to worry about that too much. Again, it's just the variety. On a normal registered sporting, I'd like to put at least 2 traps, possibly 3 at the 50-metre distance, and then anything in between that. You know, people, from what I've seen, and me personally, I could hit a 50-yard batu easier than what I could hit a little rabbit tootling along here. So for the competition, guys, and it's a trick I have up my sleeve when we do the big major shoots. If you put a big screaming target on, they'll put all their effort into that and then just drop one into here. They put so much effort into that, they'll come down and transition to that, and they'll think, oh, that's easy. But before they know it, they've missed 1 or 2, and it catches people out all the time.
The D trap here on the pool.
Is that the batu one?
D.
Yeah, yeah.
How long is it from the?
From where you were shooting, if you stepped it to where it's peaking at its nice little sweet spot, it would be 65 to 70 paces. 70 metres. Did you hit it?
Once.
Well, that's all right. It's better than none, isn't it?
Sorry.
Don't worry, no problem. Push, out.
Ja. Ja. Behind. I hit it.
You hit it. Well done.
Thank you.
That we do we do. I try to do one or 2 shoots a year called the long range extreme shoots, and they're 100 bird shoots, and there is no clay closer than 60 or 70 yards. They're all 70 to 90 to 100 metres.
And what do you put in the barrel?
28 grams will hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 28 6 and a halves.
Quite a tumble.
Full chokes. Yeah.
Is that popular? Is it
Yeah.
attended?
Yes. Yeah, it's a kind of event we do in the summer because it's nice. You can get your shorts on, get your t-shirt on. Everybody's nice and relaxed. If you know, and they just come. They know what it's going to be. It's going to be a long range shoot. We did one here. I don't know, August time, and I think the highest score was 72 out of the 100, which was very good. But everybody thoroughly enjoyed it. So. But you know, the top guys in England now, they're so talented, but also we are quite spoiled because we can shoot registered competitions 3-4 times a week if we want to. I live down near Westfield, and with an hour and 15 travelling, some weeks we can shoot a registered shoot on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and a Sunday.
Yeah.
So, you know, we are spoiled really.
Last time we spoke, Steve, you said something about a trend from sport trap to compact. You mentioned that.
There's the sport trap is like the CPSA English version, which has been around for years and years. It died off. It wasn't very popular for a very long time, and then FITAS brought compact into the UK 10-15 years ago now, I think, and it got people interested in that kind of discipline of shooting, and I don't know whether that introduced the interest back into sport trap, but sport trap surgeons has gone back really high again for CPSA. So we run a winter series here, sport trap, but we're lucky because we've got 4 layouts all undercover, so we can run that. And then the British Open always has the British Sport Trap Championships as well, and that's always oversubscribed and full. Personally, I prefer the CPSA Sport Trap because I'm not, as a course setter, I'm not restricted on what we can actually do. So.
Because it's in sport trap you have no limits.
No.
No, you are free to set what you want.
Yeah. I did a compact sport in here a fair few years ago now, and they were all moaning at me because I just used the far corners, and as long as a big batu went through the corner, I said, well, it's crossing the lines. What? This, no compact, no. So, Yeah.
So the thing here, what did you think when
The,
you have this?
this one's quite easy, John, because I just revert back to my farming days and watching what's going on in the field. You'll see a partridge or something appear over the hedge,
Yeah.
shoot that there, and then you'll spook something out of the other hedge going away there.
Yeah.
That's pretty simple, really. That's what I try to base a lot of it on.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, good.
They were there.
Yeah, yeah.
So the shootout. It's 4.
That's easy. We could push it further away. The good thing about England for the sporting is obviously we do it all year round, but every ground is different. All the topographers are different. Every course setter utilises his own grounds to their own potential. So I travel around. I go to Churchill's quite a bit. I go to Owl's Lodge, Barbary, Ian Coley's, and it's just that's what I love about sporting. Everything's different.
Yeah.
And I admire the guys that shoot trap and skeet and DTL because that is such a mind game. Concentration-wise, it's
Practice.
yeah.
But I noticed one thing in this area and the place it was yesterday and before yesterday. No clays from behind and over.
I do that. I've got one. We've got a competition here on Sunday, and I've got the big tower down the bottom. The shooters will be stood underneath it, and one going away over their head.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you use sets
yeah.
like that.
And that is a very, very hard target for a lot of people,
Yeah.
especially when there's two as a simo pair. We call them overhead ducks over here for some reason, but yeah, yeah.
It's not because you have to duck.
Yeah.
But we see a lot of difference between Wednesday when we visited Atkin and Grant
Yeah.
and to this targets. It's totally different.
But that is the beauty and the love of English sporting, isn't it? Where we're only, is that my phone? No, we're only a couple of hours apart, but everything is just totally different. I don't really service them. Every time we move traps for different competitions, it's like I'm lucky because last week's competition is all set that you guys shot this morning, but also out there's another, I don't know whether you've seen, there's a fair few traps set up actually ready for competition on Sunday coming, so it's totally different. So when I move those and set those on Wednesday and yesterday, you sort of set them up, have a good look, and you get a feel if something's not quite right. I always carry a can of WD-40 with me, and a quick spray around just keeps all the threads lubricated. Just carry some basic spares with me on a shoot day because invariably, if you've got 150, 200 people here, something's going to play up, something's going to go wrong. But Promatic traps generally are pretty robust and good.
Yeah. You fooled me at the stand 4.
Stand 4, which was that? The driven.
Driven crosser.
Yeah.
Talk me through it. How did you think?
The crosser was first, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was quite awesome thing, but the other one,
So the crosser was fine, and then as you're coming back to address the driven, straight away, the first thing you'll see is the line of trees.
Yep.
And then you'll watch the clay coming off down the line of trees, and just as you want to put the gun on it, you'll notice it's curling and twisting away from you. So you've got to try and blank out, this was my take on it, blank out the trees completely, imagine they're just not there, and just shoot that clay. because
That was the solution.
the real smart shooters I was watching, and I thought I would do it, they'd shoot it here
Yeah.
because there's a big gap in that tree line. But I watched so many taking it on here, and they were shooting up the right hand side of it when the clay was always going left-handed. So again, that's that trap on top of that tower. That's a super sporter with a double spring on it, but it's only half pressure on it. Did you, the other stand, did you all shoot the little rabbit behind the bank?
Yeah, understand.
The rabbit coming down under the tree line,
Yeah.
and then the crossing target with it.
Flocks.
He likes England now, doesn't he?
Yeah, I do. No, even more. Yeah.
Upcoming champion.
Well done.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well done.
Hmm.
You see, for me, that crossing target, I would have shot the rabbit there where you did, exactly the same place, but then watched the clay and just gone straight up to intercept it.
Well, straight
Right,
up.
yeah, rather than bring your gun back here to swing through again. Well done.
After that, rabbit just
Yeah, just
way.
shoot the rabbit there smoothly, and then leave your gun there, but watch here for that clay rising. As the clay's rising, take your gun and intercept it at that kind of point there. But watch the clay all the time.
Ah,
Can't get much better than that.
thank you. Ah,
We did the British down here 2015, and round the back you can actually see still in the conifer trees where we actually killed the trees where we shot. We had a little teal there, and I did make a mistake because I put the teal trap too close to the trees, and it was too vertical. Thankfully, we picked it up on practice day, on the sponsors day, and because it was so vertical, the clays weren't dropping on the plate flat, and they were tipping back slightly, so they were breaking too many. So we had to sort of pick the trap up and bring it back 2 yards, and then just drop it down a little bit, and then it was fine then. Thankfully. I don't really worry about what the high gun score is. I want the B and C class shooters to enjoy their day out. If they come to me at the end of the day and said, we only shot 65, but we've had a bloody fantastic day, that's I've done my job, that's it. And you know, we ran a fit-ass shoot at Westfield last weekend. Highest score on the Saturday was Martin Myers and another chap, I can't remember at the minute, on 95. And then we ran the Sunday, the same competition, same layout, same parcours, and a chap called Paul Lovatt shot 100 out of 100. Now, I can tell you, on that course, there was one Batu, a super sporter Batu trap, a good 95 metres away that he had to hit 3 times. There was a super sporter standard off a scissor lift tower on the top of the valley hill at Westfield. That was 75 metres away flat out. Then on the top field layout, he had 2 Batus there, and he had a Simo pair of Batus at 65 metres. It was a Simo pair that he needed for the 100 straight, and he hit the last 2. So it's the first time I've ever seen it happen.
And you stand like this.
Yes, just remember, one clay at a time.
One play at a time.
Yeah, don't look at the 2, just focus on one.
Upper one or
I
the
haven't
lower
seen.
one?
Let's have a look. Right. Pull. I'll take the lower standard for me.
first.
shoot the lower standard, and then the higher one, the midi, just go straight to it. Because it's a midi,
Yeah.
you don't need the vast amount of leads.
No.
So you keep your gun here, underneath the line,
Yeah.
see the standard, shoot, look at the standard, watch it break, and then go to the midi. But one at a time.
Yeah.
See? It's a very, very fine, how far can I push it before we start losing entries, basically. It's a very fine balance. People like to come clay shooting to break clays. And it's finding that happy balance where they're feeling challenged, but they can still do it without being demoralised. I can judge it with the atmosphere on the ground of a day, because I'm always going around filling traps and listening and watching people, and if people are in their groups having a laugh and a joke, they're enjoying it. And in here, if this clubhouse is full at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock with people laughing and joking, they've had a good day. If this is empty and the car park's empty, they've all buggered off early because they felt like they haven't had a good day.